Maybe we should call this a Mercenary in the Mercedes series, right? Where I basically talk about Mercedes, just talk about different things. So how to differentiate yourself from everyone else. So I'm kind of talking these points out, okay? So there's really 3 to 4 different ways that you can differentiate yourself. So there's 3 main ways, right? Because the 4th way is not really a differentiation that I really think you should be doing. So the one that I don't think you should be doing is making yourself cheaper. Okay, I don't like going cheaper because it's like when you're a small boutique bookkeeping or accounting firm and it's just yourself, maybe you have like 1 staff accountant, you want to be going after high price point clients with high profit margins, because the first goal when you're starting that business is to be able to go and leave your job in a lot of cases, right? But in order to leave your job, you need a significant amount of income coming in. So if you have a bunch of small clients, it just takes you forever to go and get the, income goal that you need in order to leave your job. So the only reason you would do low submarine pricing is if you're already at, we'll say like $500,000 to $1 million per year, and you're just trying to increase market share, right? That's a different business model than probably what you're watching this video are trying to do. If you're already at 400,000, 500,000 plus, right, I would say something totally different to you. But if you're just getting started inside your business, or maybe only have maybe 3 to 5 clients, you're trying to really get to that next level of not only hitting like maybe 10K per month, really getting to like 10, 15, 20K per month, don't differentiate based on price. Now when we talk about market share, that just means like the number of clients, right? Because if you're going to do a low price point on one of your services, it's generally because you're using it as a loss leader in order to go and cross-sell other services. So a lot of CPA firms, especially like ones that are more established, they will actually like sell like monthly bookkeeping for like $100 to $200 a month, no matter the amount of transactional volume, no matter how much time it takes, because they are trying to go and get a tax plan that's year after year after year, like $5,000 to $20,000 from a company each and every year, right? So they can give away like bookkeeping basically for free, essentially $1,000 a year, because they know they're going to get at least $5,000 a year from tax planning or their tax prep, right? Maybe their tax prep is like pure profit, right? So they only go low because there's something else that they are going to be selling as well. Next thing is you can be better, okay? Now, when I say better, it's like you maybe offer a higher level service than what your competitors offer. So, for example, people that offer CFO services can generally sell at a higher price point than bookkeeping for 2 reasons. Number 1 is because the bookkeeping is included. So they're selling like the bookkeeping margin you can make plus the CFO margin you can make. So they're essentially doubling, in some cases tripling what they're able to do. They can also put on a percentage or like a bounty for how much growth they put on the company over a certain amount. Good example, one of our students, she basically helps medical spas. So by being able to show them like how to predict out like when they should be receiving revenue and how much they should be spending in advertising in like the 1, 2, 3 months prior, the accuracy or the lift that she's able to help them get over what they did the previous year, she's able to actually get a percentage off of that. Now, again, that's a higher level skill set. So the more skills that you have, and just like we talked about also with like the tax planning people, right, where they can add like a mixture of bookkeeping, accounting, tax prep, tax planning, CFO services, business valuation services, they can maybe broker a sale, they have their insurance, like that's like the more skill sets they can kind of package all in one, the more they can like charge and the more differentiated they are because they're able to do that. Now, if you don't have an all-in-one service where you offer all those different services, that does not mean you can't win, right? I'm not saying that, but I'm just telling you like the different ways you can differentiate yourself in order to make sure that you can grow a little bit better. Second way you can third way that you can differentiate yourself, the second feasible one for a small boutique bookkeeping owner, is going to be being faster, right? So let's say that, like, for example, one of our students, she is very good at predicting the exact date that a cleanup project will be done. So she is able to tell the business owners very quickly, if they say, well, how fast can you get this done? I can get done by this date. And no one else can say it because most of her competition's like, well, it depends on when you get me the work, and I can't really control the speed of this, and I can't really control this. She will say, okay, you need to give me this. Once this is done and once I have this, it's going to take this much time, right? And she gets a lot of deals just by doing that. So not only is she able to charge her price higher, but she can get more clients because a lot of people are really looking for efficient work, especially when it comes to cleanups, like at year end or right before like the tax deadline. Okay, that's speed. Speed is better. That's why, for example, if you ever go like to like a McDonald's, now I know some people might be thinking, oh, I don't like McDonald's, it's unhealthy. I'm not saying to eat at McDonald's. I'm just using it for the sake of example, right? It's like they work to cut time off every single thing. When the original owner of McDonald's was starting McDonald's, he would literally take a timer and he'd be looking at like how he set up his kitchen to talk about saving seconds, right? 10 seconds, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 20 seconds, however many seconds he could save. That's what he cared about, because he had to compete against other food chains like Burger King and Wendy's, right? And the faster the checkout, the faster it was for a person to get their food, the more likely they would come back and they would keep frequenting their store. So speed is important. Speed is super, super critical. There was another example I was going to give, but I'm kind of in my car right now, so it's hard to think. But speed is so critical. Speed is critical. Oftentimes, even for me, for example, like if I have a project that I go on like Fiverr, right? Not comparing your service to Fiverr. I'm just saying, in general, whoever responds to me the fastest, and then whoever can get it done the fastest and the most like correct, I work with them. Like some people, like it'll take them like 3 or 4 days to respond to you, and it's just like, hey, this other person beat you. Sorry, we already had the deal. Negotiated, signed, and paid for, and completed before you even got back to me. That's one thing you need to learn as a bookkeeper. Anytime that you own a business, whether it's bookkeeping or whatever, if someone gives you contact information, you need to go and respond to them as soon as possible. Do not take a day. Do not take a couple weeks. When I was first getting started, I was helping my mom start her business, and I can't remember what type of marketing strategy I did for her, but basically this person said they were interested in her service. And they actually called her on the phone saying they're interested in her service, but it went to voicemail. I said, hey, you got a lead. Okay, 5 hours go, 2 hours go by, 5 hours go by, 7 hours go by, 24 hours go by. We're walking the next morning. Hey, did you get a chance to kind of like respond to that lead? Oh no, I'm going to respond this afternoon. What? What do you mean, this afternoon? Yeah, you said get back to him, so I'm going to get back to him. No. I meant as soon as possible. She said, what do you mean? In sales and marketing, there is a actual metric people have. Sorry, my lip is kind of peeling. I have like waters and different things here, but a little dehydrated still. It's like my dehydration levels come and they like kind of go, so it just depends. But speed, there are companies that actually track speed to lead. I have in some of the mastermind programs that I've like been a part of and like done, I've had people talk about firing their marketing or firing their salesperson because a person took more than 5 minutes to get back to their leads. And some of these companies call and text and email their leads 7 times within the first 24 hours. And some of you might be thinking, oh, I never respond to people if they text me that much. It works. It might not work on you, but it works on a lot of people. Right? Now, that does take some infrastructure. I'm not saying that if you are starting out, you have to be calling people 7 times every time they show interest. But I'm saying, in order to kind of grow and like get bigger, speed is so critical. Next thing that's important is being different. Okay? So within being different, right, I like talking about branding. So branding can be sharing values, beliefs. It can be sharing your opinions. It can be sharing your story of like how you got into business, what were you doing before business, all these different like components. So brand is story. It is beliefs, values, opinions. Okay, so your story. What were you doing before that you got into this thing? What made you think that you want to start this business? Why is this business important for you to actually like help people out? Number 2, your beliefs. Like, what do you believe as a person? Like, you can have like religious beliefs. You can have like, beliefs around like, how you raise your children, beliefs around like how you live your life. And I used to not really talk that much about beliefs because I was like, I don't really know who I really want to speak to. So I don't know if I want to kind of upset certain people. But that's actually a mistake because you want to upset the wrong people and you want to really attract the right people. Now, I'm not saying like go and like say stuff that's like malicious and mean to people who are not like your target audience, but I'm saying that by disagreeing with what your ideal client disagrees with, you're going to attract that ideal client a lot more, right? Because you're on the same side. It's us versus them. Us versus them, right? The more you can kind of get people to kind of feel like you guys are on the same team, even before they've paid you money, the more likely they're actually going to be to pay you money. It's amazing. Next thing is values. Okay, so this could be like your company values, right? How we talked about speed, how we talked about attention to details, right? This actually matters because in order for a company to grow, it needs to have values. And if your values align with what another company's or your end client is going to have the values of, it's oftentimes going to be a really great relationship when you guys do decide to work together. So it's not just about getting the client. It's also about maintaining the client for like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 20 years, right? However long you're going to be in business. The longest I've heard a client work with someone for was about, I believe it was about like 25-ish years. Sorry, I have to plug in my writing pad. Give me a sec. Give me a second. The car's not on, so it probably isn't going to work. Whatever. Boom. Car is now on. Let me pause. Sorry, so it looks like the sun is starting to come. So I'm just gonna use my handy dandy. I love having a sunroof. Like, it's actually, it's funny. I like this car. I do like this car a lot. Yeah, but that's what we're saying. Values, right? It's about like really maintaining that client. A lot of people are still focused on like getting the client, but like really what's important is if you can maintain that client, you can do a lot, right? Because you can spend money on advertisements, you can go and buy clients, you can buy leads with more confidence, right? I was talking to a person the other day and in my mentorship program, and she was saying like, hey, this platform, it like charged me money to like find leads. So basically like you pay money and then you're able to go to get a lead. And she's like, I'm paying $3 a lead. I was like, okay, well, how many leads does it take for you to get a client? And then when you get that client, like, how long does the person last for? Because she was basically saying that like $3 a lead is very expensive. And I was like, that's not that bad. Like, in the space of online marketing, some businesses pay anywhere between $100 to about $300 per phone call of someone that's interested in like learning about their service, right? So the fact that you have to pay $3 and like maybe let's say you have to send out five proposals, that's $15 to get one phone call. Okay, so $15 to get one phone call. Let's say that it takes you about 3 phone calls to get one client. So was that 3 times 15, $45 per client. If that client pays you a minimum of $300 a month, and I know that's below what we talk about usually, I'm just giving it for the sake of example, $300, and they stay with you for at least 12 months, that is $3,600. Okay? I'm not even going to say if they stay for 2 years or 3 years. I'm just going to keep it simple for this example and kind of show you like how blessed you are in terms of like marketing, in terms of like pricing for our services, because it's such a widespread service that everyone feels that they need. Okay, so $45 per person or per client for $3,600. What is that? That's probably about, let me get my calculator. I gotta trust myself more. I knew X to the answer. It was about 80x return. 80x return means you put $1 in, you get $80 back. Okay. Why is that a big deal, Bryce? That doesn't sound like that's that great. Think about it in terms of money, in terms of investing in the stock market. Most people talk about when investing in stock market, they're trying to get a 10% return every single year. That means for every dollar they put in, they want to get 10 cents back. You put in $1, you got $80 back. That is extremely, what is that, times 1 times, that is an 800% return. That actually might be 2 decimals. An 8,000% return. 8,000. If you told that to an investor, they would probably hold you at gunpoint and talk about where did you find this amazing investment opportunity and to teach them that opportunity. And also put in perspective, most internet entrepreneurs spend anywhere between $750 to about $2,500 per client. on ads. Like if you see someone advertising on Facebook, right? It's probably cost them between $750 to $2,500 per person that ends up paying the money. So it's like, you know, sometimes like, yeah, it's and they're expecting anywhere between a 1 to 3x return. If you get into 3x, that's pretty much like standard for like most internet like marketing systems, right? The fact that you're getting an 80x for $45 is amazing. Whatever, like, so it's not expensive. No, attack that. Attack that as hard as you possibly can, and keep putting in your money as long as it keeps getting a return. Okay. Next thing are your opinions. Okay, so how do you actually feel about, or what do you actually think about, you know, business? How business can improve? What is your thesis on business? What is the best type of business? What type of business do you like to work with? Why do you like working with those same businesses? Right, just expressing your opinions and teaching people stuff. It doesn't have to be like some groundbreaking, like, you know, massive formula that nobody knows. It can be something small, but it's just something that people don't know about, where they're learning from you, or they're at least getting an understanding of how you see the world, because that causes people to be attracted to you. Now you can do this in written, you can do this in video, you can do this in audio. I know some people are afraid of doing video. I was afraid of doing video as well for a lot of different reasons. But you know, I overcame that. Obviously I overcame that. I have like 1,000 videos on this YouTube channel at this point, but for some people it's really hard to do that. So you can do it in the written word as well. The written word does work. It does attract a slightly higher kind of level like person. So I will say that videos are a little bit simpler. So it is easier to kind of scale videos that way, because you can just go after a much wider audience. But written stuff does bring in clients, especially long written stuff. If you get someone to consume something that's very long, oh, they will buy from you very, very, very quickly, very easily, very effectively. Awesome. Cool. And those are the 3.5 ways you can differentiate yourself and really stand out from the crowd. Hopefully you like this video. If you want some help growing your business, like maybe you're thinking about growing, or maybe you're thinking about starting, you just don't really know exactly what you need to do in order to go find success, go ahead and click the link in the video, either above or below click the link in the description above or below the video to book a call with myself to see if I can help inside of our program. Okay? If that's you, I'll talk to you soon. Hopefully have a great rest of your day. And just to kind of recap, there's 3.5 ways you can differentiate yourself. Number 1 is cheap. Don't do that. Number 2 is be better. Number 3 is be faster. Number 4 is going to be different. Hopefully have a good rest of your day. Take it easy. Talk to you soon.